Hi, this is Julie Nayeri at InsMark, and I am going to be spending the next 30 minutes or so going over the input steps that you need to learn to create a couple of basic illustrations in the InsMark system. So the system I'm going to be showing you would be the InsMark illustration system. And I will first show you how to link insurance policy data from WinFlex, which is an electronic linking process. Okay, we basically transfer insurance data from one software program into another. So we're getting the insurance data electronically from WinFlex into the InsMark system. There are a lot of insurance companies that don't have the electronic link with us, and you can still use their products in the InsMark analysis, but you will need to learn how to get those insurance data through the manual import method, which is basically a copy and paste method. Okay, you don't have to hand typing a lot of insurance data. You can use the copy and paste method to transfer insurance data from PDF file into the InsMark system. Once you get the insurance data into the InsMark system, then you can do a lot of different illustrations in this system. The two basic illustrations that I will demonstrating for you today would be the simplest one, which is illustration of values, and then I will also show you how you can create a comparison between an insurance and an investment. The investment could be equity account, could be tax deferred annuity, could be bank accounts, could be IRA or 401k. So that would be something that you can use to compare life insurance against. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing in the next 30 minutes or so. So to create an insurance policy ledger, you need to first log into the WinFlex Web. Okay, so this is a web system, WinFlex. You have access to this program for free if you're an agent with a lot of insurance companies. So how you can gain access to this program, you need to contact the insurance company. So this is how you log in. You get a username and a password from the insurance carrier. So I'm going to show you how to log in. Okay. I type in my username, my password, and I click on login. Now I am inside the program, and as you see here, it has the username, and you see the drop-down menu contains profile and log out as two options. So what you want to do as a step number one is actually to set the preferences for report to enable the system to link the policy into InsMark. So what you want to do as step number one would be clicking on this button, illustrations, and then you watch what happens here. Okay, so I click on illustrations after logging, and now I'm going to click on the username one more time, and you see here this one now becomes available for you to select. So you need to click on the preferences from the drop-down menu, and then you need to set a preference in the Reports tab. Okay, you click on Reports, and now you have all of these little buttons that show up. The one that you want to make sure to click on to select would be this little one that says Enable InsMark. Make sure it is checked, and then you save it. You only need to do this step once. For your later cases, you don't have to do this again. So enable InsMark under Reports, under Preferences, okay? Save, and now you close it. And now you're ready to start a case. So you click on Start a New Case. And now these are the insurance companies that can link to InsMark inside WinFlex. I'm going to pick American General for this demo. And I'm just going to kind of randomly pick a product from American General. So it's Max Accumulator IUL. And I select Create a Client. And these are the steps involved. I'm sure you guys know how to create insurance ledgers much better than us because you guys are insurance professionals. So you need to, I guess, type in the insured's name, and I'm making up a name. Let's call him Jason Smith, and he is a male, and let's say he is around 40 something. So let's say he is 45. So you type in these information, okay? And then you need to solve and do all of these options, riders, and so forth. So you do these, and let's say I'm just making up a number. Let's say the premium for him is 10,000, and so on. You complete these ledger design, then you click on this button for calculation. Okay, you click on calculate, and now it's going to do the number crunching for you. And now this policy is made. And you see here, there's an InsMark button right here. This is the reason for doing that preference setting. Okay, so you do that, and now it shows up. So what I'm going to do is to click on this InsMark button and watch on your screen when you're doing it. Somewhere here or somewhere, it's going to have a file that's downloaded, okay? So I'm clicking on this to download this case file, this ledger file. And you see here, this is a button file. It's basic insurance file. And I'm going to open this. And now you see the InSmart menu gets launched. And you pick the system that you want to use. And I'm picking the InsMark illustration system. And you see now you're inside the InsMark system. So you were in the WinFlex system, and now you're in the InsMark system. And I'm going to be creating a new client workbook. A workbook basically means a client's case. And you click OK. You go to the next step. And you need to give the client's case a name. Usually would be the insured's name. And I, do the insured's name. See, it automatically actually shows up because it picks up that information from the button file from AIG, from American General. So I'm going to name this like today's date. This is a way to really easily identify the case if you need to go back to it to review. Okay, so that's the name of the client workbook. And now you are inside the proposal beginning screen. And again, the insured's name kind of shows up by default. And you can review this policy that you just linked over from WinFlex by clicking on the review button. See, this is the policy that I just ran and linked over from WinFlex, and it's 10,000 for this 45-year-old getting this kind of income distribution cash value death benefit. Okay, so that's done. This is called loading the insurance data. Once you've got the insurance data in, now you can do comparisons. You can also do executive benefits design. You can do split dial. You can do personal needs analysis. So this is all of the components within the InsMark system. And we're going to be doing investment versus your policy comparison, which is located under personal insurance. So I'm going to now select the module that I want using this insurance policy. And I'm going to now move to the next step by clicking on the OK button. And this is how you set up the comparison, okay? How long you want to run the proposal, what kind of investment is going to be selected to be compared against this IUL and so forth. So it's actually really simple. And this one shows up as illustrate till age, for 75 years. This is probably till age 130. And I don't want to run it for so long. I only want to run it probably till about age 100. So this is 55. So I'm going to change it. Illustrate through year 55 when he is 100 years old. And you see here, source data is always reviewable on the side. Okay, so you can double check and see the specific of this insurance data. Source data basically means insurance data. Okay, so his tax bracket, I want to use 28%. And investments. What is he likely to select as an investment vehicle, as an alternative to this life insurance? So this is the investment details. You set up the case by selecting what kind of an investment alternative he's likely to choose if he didn't buy the life insurance. So let's see, I want to do let me see, any taxable investment or okay, when it comes to the investment option selection, it seems that when you link over an insurance policy, there are certain restrictions that might get triggered. And this is usually at the request of the home office. So it seems to be that we don't have the qualified account on this investment selection drop-down menu, okay? This is not a restriction placed by us, but this is usually something requested by the home office. And I'm kind of inferring that American General does not allow you to have a qualified account on this kind of a comparison, but you can absolutely compare it to taxable account. So here I'm going to maybe select an equity account, okay? And you will need to input what would be the yield assumption on the equity account on the investment. Make sure all the names are correct, okay, in any of these white boxes. And if there's a sales charge, you can add that. If not, you don't add it. Management fee, and dividend tax rate, and so on. Portfolio turnover, capital gains tax rate, let's say I change it to 20%. And portfolio turnover, you can either ignore it by putting 0 or 50% or 100% or whatever. So these are the specifics relevant to this investment fund. And you're basically done, okay? And now you can go to report selection and pick those reports that you want. There are a lot of reports, and you can add all, so you can preview everything that's available, and then you can remove certain ones that you don't want. Or you could do this, remove all, and just use system defaults. And we're going to kind of, select those reports that we think the system thinks is actually probably a good idea to include. I'm going to actually add a couple of more reports. And now you got the case ready and you can preview it. And it looks something like this. Okay, these are the typical insurance against investment comparisons. So you can also add a cover page right here. Okay, you can change the title of the cover page. You can customize it. See, this person happens to be Jason Smith, so I'm not probably going to pick a lady as a report cover or some, different report selections, cover page. And all of these can be, obviously changed. You type in your own information here, and now you got the case done, okay? So we were here, and we were here. And to customize the cover page, you click here, okay? And then you go back here, and then you can preview and click on Done to save. Now you got the first proposal done, okay? That is an investment versus your policy. Now you can add another proposal, and I will pick illustration of values. This is like the really basic illustration summarizing this insurance product. So I select and OK to move to the next step. And now here, again, you type in these basic information. Now, the rate of return, these are report options. You can choose to not include it or include it. All right. You can also select either to show net ROR or gross ROR, rate of return. These will create additional columns on the cash value and on the death benefit on the report. If you do not include these, the report is going to be more concise because it doesn't show these rate of return columns. Cash flow, you can name this as retirement income, distribution, or whatever, and then you're done. This is, again, very, very simple, and you get this kind of report. Okay, see, this one shows premium, income distribution, loans and withdrawals, cash value, surrender value, death benefit. If you do add those ROR, and now you're going to have additional columns, these and these. Okay, these could be either included or not included. And again, you can do your add cover page and customize your name and so forth. And now you get the case done. So this is two simple proposals: illustration of value, investment versus your policy comparison. And this is using an insurance source data that has been electronically imported into the InsMark system from the WinFlex program, And so that's one way of doing the insurance proposal inside the InsMark system. Okay, so next I'm going to show you how you can copy and paste insurance data from a company that's not linked. So, WinFlex, we don't have a lot of insurance companies that are linked from WinFlex to InsMark. So if you've got a John Hancock or some other insurance companies, you need to get a PDF file. This is kind of a generic example from an insurance company. And it's for a 53-year-old male of 50,000 fast pay, okay, for 7 pay. And it's going to have withdrawals and loans as income distribution. Then it's going to get the cash value, surrender value, death benefit. So these are a lot of numbers that you certainly don't want to hand type into the system. So how do you actually get it into the InsMark? This is what you do. You first need to make sure you get, the PDF file opened in Adobe Reader program. Not in Adobe Acrobat, but Reader. Okay, Reader program is a free program that everybody has. But if on your computer you have a paid version of Adobe Acrobat program, professional or something, it's going to show up not as Reader. And when you open the PDF file, by default, it might be opening Adobe Acrobat program rather than the Reader program. So you just need to make sure you open your PDF in your free Reader. And we're going to copy these columns of data into the InsMark system. So have a file ready. And now you're going to go open your InsMark system. And you select Create a New Client Workbook. And this person's name is, let's say, Chris. Okay, let's say this is his name. And you click OK to go to the next step. And you see here, we've got a prior insurance data from American General. This is not the right case for Chris. So you need to now do Create New. Don't go here yet. You need to do Create New for source data. You need to get a new insurance data in. And when you click on Create New, you are now in the source data box, which is a different place than the prior screen. Okay, so let me show you. We were here, and you said Create New. And now you're going to be creating a new source data by clicking on the New button here. And these are the input areas that you need to complete to get an insurance policy manually loaded. So I'm calling this XYZ Insurance Company. Okay, you type in the correct name. And let's see, this one is run for how many years? So I'm going to run it for 48 years. For 48. And the name is Chris L. Okay, that's the guy's name. And this is male. How old is he? He is 60. This is actually this is a different policy. I'm sorry, this one. I've got 2 PDFs open, but the one that I'm trying to copy and pasting by manual import is this person, 53, single life. And policy detail, insurance company. Again, XYZ, long product name. If it's an IUL or some kind of you do these names. I'm kind of racing through quickly, but you get the idea. Initial death benefit, I get that from the PDF file, 874360. Okay, and the interest rate, you could choose to display it or not. Okay, so you just get that from the insurance footnote. About non-guaranteed value and so forth, it's kind of a disclaimer. You could do your own custom footnote and type it in, and it gets saved in the system as, 1 or 2 or 3. So I'm just going to use number 1. And now premium and cash flow is 50,000 for 7 years. This is a 7 pay. And I'm pushing the equal key, okay? This is how you repeat the same number. You do the number, type in the number once, move down to the cell that you want to repeat the number, and then find the equal key. This is the same key as the plus key on your keyboard. So it's very easy to enter. And then it's got the withdrawals and loans as income distribution, which is also a same number, level number. Starting in year 15 is going to have this kind of income distribution, 50,000, 54,000, year 15, loans. Make sure you move under the cell that you want to repeat the number, and now just push the equal key. Very fast, okay? I'm putting everything under loans because in the InsMark system, even though some of it may be withdrawals to basis and loans, it's a lot easier when you have to do the manual input to put everything under loans because it just shows up as tax-free retirement distribution. It's not going to have, separate columns showing this portion is withdrawal, this portion is loan. So make it easy for yourself. Just enter, when you're doing the manual import, enter the income distribution under the loans column. Then the program doesn't have to track the cost basis and doesn't have to do the tax sensing. Account values. This is the big one where you have all kinds of numbers and you certainly don't want to type in all these numbers. So I'm going to use the ALT key, Alt key on your keyboard, okay? I'm pushing my left hand on the Alt key and watch the box. See, the box becomes a little square now, right? The cursor. So push down the Alt key, and now using the right hand, draw this area of data that you want. And remove the Alt key, release the Alt key, right mouse click. Whoa, something happened. Let's do this again. Alt. Keep the Alt key down while you draw this field. Release the Alt key, right mouse click, and now copy. So you got all of these data on your clipboard. Now you go to InsMark. Make sure this first cell of column 1 is highlighted completely blue. If it's like this, it's not ready. You just click somewhere and click back, okay? Completely blue. If it's like this, it's not ready for pasting. So anytime you have to make sure cell number 1, column number 1 has to be highlighted completely blue. And now you click on this little button. See, it says paste. And now you got the data populated. And now we need to do it one more time. This is now the beginning cell of the pasting field. Highlight it completely blue. Go to your PDF file. Go to the next page. These last 3 columns. Alt key. Grab all these. Release the Alt key. Right mouse click, copy. And now here, paste. And you've got the insurance data all transferred in, okay? This is all in. Okay to save. You got this case now here as a new source data. Now you can review. This is the policy we just manually loaded. And whoops, something happened. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Okay, so this is where we were, okay? This is the policy that's being loaded manually by cutting and pasting from PDF file. So now make sure this policy is selected and it's highlighted blue, okay? This is the policy that we want to use. And you select OK, and now you're back in the proposal starting screen, and you can double check and make sure this is the right policy. And now you can do illustration of values or other investment versus your policy. So I'm going to do other investment versus your policy, and click and OK to go to the next step. And now again, you need to make sure the tax bracket is correct. Let's say this person is in a higher tax bracket. Investment details. See here, because this is manually imported policy data, the choices from the investment selection list is more because the whole system is open, entirely open. There is no restrictions. So see, tax deductible retirement plan option is available now. You could also pick customize, which was also not an option available when you electronically linked over, because the linking trigger whatever restrictions specific insurance company place. Manual import has the advantage of opening 100% of the system for you to use, but it is a little bit more time consuming, right? So let's say we want to customize, and I want to call this RA. And the yield could be 6.5 or whatever the insurance proposal's yield assumption is. It would be usually a good yield assumption so you can match it on the investment side. And this is RA, or qualified account. Maybe call this QA, qualified account, because you can only do 2 letters here. This shows up on certain column headings, certain graph. And now make sure you pick the right investment category. So this one is an RA. It's none of these but tax deductible retirement account. So management fee, I'm going to use maybe about 0.75. Premature distribution, there is that on the RA. And you got your reports done. Okay, again, you can add cover page and so forth. And now you have this kind of report. This one obviously should be tax deductible qualified bucket versus whatever insurance. This is all I need to change this. Okay, this is how you can call this qualified account. Versus IUL. And so on, okay? You could do this, and now you're back to report selection, and then you get this kind of a report, and this one is RA versus IUL. And it's going to be a little different than other investment because due to the deductibility of RA account, it's going to have more money because 50,000 pre-tax is going to be this based on 35% income. So there's going to be more money working in the RA account versus the straight 50,000. If you selected an equity account, obviously it's going to be 50,000 going to an equity account, and that's how you do these kind of comparisons. Basic data, very, very easy. Investment details, you just make sure you pick the right investment, the one that's appropriate for your insurance product. If you've got a whole life product that's guaranteed, with a I don't know, 4% or 3% or whatever, it's going to be a poor comparison if you pick an equity account presuming to be earning 6%. So you pick the appropriate insurance investment alternative and make sure you check the correct investment type so the taxes are handled correctly. Okay. You could also pick from these pre-worded options, or you could do customize. So, and then you click on done, you get it saved. This is the steps involved in creating a proposal using insurance data that's being manually imported through the cut and paste method.